Hello, welcome to Opus Video. I'm Derek Topra, Research Director with Opus Research, and excited to be here. Actually, again with Ram from Zoho. Can you introduce yourself, Ram?
Hi, Derek. Thank you for having me again. I am Ram Prakash. I lead the AI research for Zoho.
Cool, and we're excited to talk about AI again here. This is kind of what we do, but in recent weeks, Zoho made some announcements around large language models, the Zoho LLM and Agent Studio, and some kind of new tools and for organizations to start leveraging AI. In this segment, we want to kind of talk about how to make it work. I mean, I think that's part of the challenges that we hear a lot, and obviously there's a lot of new announcements that come out every day, really, in terms of not only the models that are out there, the new technologies, kind of the breakthroughs and accuracy and some of the quality issues with AI, but really that's all good. But how do you make it work within your organizations?
Sure, Derek. I mean, this is one very hyped technology, right? And we see a lot of our customers have this fear of missing out. And am I the only one who's not getting value out of AI? I mean, the name of the technology itself is hyped. It's not
Yes.
artificial, it's not intelligent. It's pattern matching, and and the technology always over promises and under delivers.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
how to make this work? So we see this as a natural extension of your digital transformation efforts. And the way we see it is, typically companies have the departments that have more digital maturity are the ones that are able to reap AI maturity. And in an average company, if you see, the profit centers are all more digital when
Hmm.
compared to the cost centers. If you think about it, your sales is more, there is a proper CRM, there is proper collaboration. Customer support is more digital. There is again, there's a paper trail, there is everything is recorded, there is SLAs and all that. But take something like a facilities management. There are a lot of companies that run facilities management on instant messaging, right, without a ticketing system.
Yeah.
So in this spectrum, we see it is easier to get more value out of AI in a properly digitized environment like a sales or a support function. If you're just going to, and we've seen this, three things. One is remove all process silos.
Hmm.
For example, take a typical employee onboarding setup. It goes everywhere from HR to the hiring manager to the IT team to the facilities team so that the employee is onboarded. Now, this process cuts across departments. So remove process silos. And if you remove process silos, then naturally data silos get removed.
Hmm.
AI does not work with data silos. AI does not like data silos. It needs to see the holistic picture that is around the system, of course, with the right privacy controls enabled. And the third thing is invest in existing rule based automation. If you've not done a bit of basic automation, rule based automation, then don't expect a $20 AI to come in overnight and do the magic for you.
Yeah.
So that would be my recommendation. Three things: streamline processes, streamline data, invest in existing rule based automation. More digitally mature you are, better you are able to reap the value out of AI systems. And the good place to deploy AI is in a more digitally rich place where your digital process is not considered an afterthought.
Right. I think that's important there in terms of that digital process, and obviously that within that kind of implies access to data, access to knowledge, and then having some kind of infrastructure or architecture to share that information and data across those different workflows, which I think is really important. And I think getting that kind of structure in place, that strategy in place, is interesting because. And we do work a lot with service for sure, and on the sales side too in terms of like access. So a lot of times within organizations, AI is a technology that people are playing with themselves, right? It's something that they're even like trying to figure out how to do my job better, even if it's not company owned software or whatever. And in fact, actually, there's this recent anecdote I heard about an organization where employees were actually using a Google LM, like the way to kind of, which is it's the Google Notebook LM that is a way to kind of create podcasts like this based on information. So agents in this case were like, kind of technical agents who were to gather and get information that they would share them with customers based on calls or interactions or chats. Would consume this information via a Google Notebook LLM because it was more accessible. And they're using AI to basically take the company data, the company knowledge, access it, and then share it actually with their customers. So that type of kind of bubbling up of new technologies and new AI, it's exciting, but it also, from a top down or from an organizational standpoint, you also want to make sure that you're using AI in all the right layers of trust and security and within parameters that are important in business cases. So how do you mix that type of, the executive level, the higher level, we need to have an AI strategy. And yes, let's get our processes and our business units and all together. But also with employees who are playing with it every day. So is there any kind of advice you would give to that kind of challenge?
Absolutely, Derek. So we see that shadow AI is becoming an emerging terminology, and people copy pasting sensitive enterprise information into third-party LLMs using their personal accounts just so they can get things done faster. So I think it's important for companies to make note of this
Yeah,
uh, and start giving the right set of AI tools, and also continuously educating people on the risks associated with AI based decision making. I mean, always have you in the loop. For example, the way we do in Zoho as a company is we have a lot of these, developer assistants, which we have paid for, and developers can subscribe to it so that their productivity is improved.
yeah,
And this is a good way to avoid them from using their own personal credentials to log in into an LLM and then build apps on top of it. Now, the idea is this is not completely automated, but then it helps them get things done faster. The
yeah.
same way for our marketers and for our content folks, we have a bunch of LLMs that they could choose from, which comes with Zoho's enterprise assistant. But our privacy compliance policies are still in place. But with a company provided LLM access, things are much more streamlined. Things are much more easier. There is a paper trail to whatever is done.
Right.
And as far as broader, how do you have an AI strategy? Let's say you are a manufacturing company, you're a hospitality company. Do you need to have an AI strategy? I would say it's a part of your digital strategy,
Yeah.
right? So educate your employees on where to use AI, where not to use AI, the privacy security implications of that, and then get them the right set of tools. And it also goes back to the previous question that I had answered, where you have to remove process data silos. And today, the way SaaS tools have evolved is these companies cater to departments. There were individual software companies that cater to departments. And just because these tools that don't talk to each other, these departments don't talk to each other. And end of the day, we have a bunch of islands in which there is no data process communication that is happening. Now, try to reduce that interdepartmental digital divide,
Right.
right? Try to build bridges which are properly access controlled, but at the same time, there is seamless flow of processes data across these systems. That makes AI and agents more impactful, because if an agent will have access to multiple process setups, multiple data setups, the pace in which things are automated are much faster. The AI return on investment that you get out of a more digitally mature system is much higher when compared to siloed systems.
Right. How do you make sure that you can help your customers anticipate what's next for AI?
Sure, Derek. So one thing that we did before we launched all these Agent Studio and LLMs is we ran a pilot within our company. We
Okay.
did two experiments. One is with our legal team. I mean, the joke is anything that goes to legal takes at least 2 weeks to get a response.
You're not
And
wrong. Yeah.
yeah, and two is with our high volume support ticket products like Zoho Books, where the product is very different in each of the region, and sometimes in each of the states the product is very different.
Sure.
Now, handling high volume support requests from finance users has been a task. So we deployed these AI agents in our legal help desk and in our Zoho Books help desk, again to augment, and things like auto assigning to the right human agent. And we had auto assigning earlier, but this agent would check if the agent, if the support agent is available. It would look at their support queue and see if they can meet the SLA if I assign this ticket to them. Would look at so many other variables and then assign it to the right person. And interestingly, we were able to see only a 20 to 30% improvement in productivity.
Okay.
So now this is, we are a 18,000 people company.
Yeah, yeah.
Have so much control on the tools that we built because Zoho runs on Zoho. And despite that, we were only able to see a 20 to 30% improvement in productivity. Now, it is not 10x. It's not a multiple as somebody claims on X or LinkedIn.
Sure.
But this is a setting the reasonable expectation
Yeah.
really helps. And we did not have to replace any of our support folks. In fact, we are hiring more and more support people as we grow. But we looked at key metrics like mean time taken to respond, mean time taken to resolve, number of tickets solved by a human agent in a week, things like that. We were able to see a 20 to 30% improvement in productivity. So this is what we tell our customers as well.
Yeah.
In fact, go on a consulting mode with them and tell them these are places where AI can really make an impact in your business process today, and these are places where you could do this down the lane. And now if they are going to take up a moonshot project the very first time and then see it fail, the company is not going to invest in AI for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
But these little pieces where auto assigning a ticket, and then level 1, and then level 2 is auto assigning a ticket depending on the human agent's availability, level 3 is auto assigning a ticket depending on that person's SLAQ, see if you can meet. So incremental developments, minor developments, so that the AI hallucination, any good AI today is only 80 to 85% accurate. The education that 15% of the times it is going to fail is an it is something that you have to set, and the human employee has to understand where it could fail and how it could fail and why it could fail. Now that education is important. So this is what we tell our customers: deploy
Yeah.
it in the most low hanging fruits,
Yeah.
see value. Once you see value, move on to the next step. The next step could be fixing those digital bridges, and then deploy your AI in the next complex thing, see value, and then slowly incrementally. So it is like digital transformation, right? We
Yep.
didn't become cloud ready overnight. It is still a process, it's still a journey. We apply the
Exactly.
same to AI. Start somewhere tangible, start somewhere small, see value, then keep reiterating and refining it.
Good advice. And I think that's exactly right. It's a good journey. And I like that idea of reasonable expectation. So, um, perfect. Well, thank you again for joining us. And we appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Pleasure is mine, Derek. Thank you very much for hosting me.